has volunteered at over 100 veterans hospitals in almost every major city in this country. You know, a lot of people wait until they're older to volunteer, but for 88-year-old Minna Levine of Brookline, giving her time to others has been her way of life.
I just want to say that I drove to Asbury Park, New Jersey, when you were up to be elected national president of the Jewish War Veterans Women's Auxiliary. And it was the biggest thrill of my life when people would stand up and say, the state of Minnesota votes for Minna Levine, the state of Louisiana votes for Minna Levine, and it was my biggest thrill to see you elected national president. What are some of the highlights, just a few minutes of some of the places you went to or spoke to before you got involved with helping the amputee veterans, but on the year that you served as president?
I had some wonderful experiences. Everywhere I went, I was received royally. I went to all the VA hospitals practically in the United States, and I found that many times I would find something that I thought wasn't just right, and I would talk to the person in command and tell them what I thought that perhaps this or that should be taken care of. And I was very fortunate in finding that they always cooperated, because they were always very willing to hear if there was any improvement they could make on the services for the veterans. I was very happy when I went to all the different places. I remember one time when I went to Illinois, to Chicago, Illinois, and I went to the Veterans Hospital there, and I was very fortunate that many things that I saw that I asked if they could do something about, many things were corrected, and found that the veterans were happier after I left there, because they would complain to me and I would talk to the doctor in charge, and they would always try to help and make corrections.
Oh, what did you exactly do for the amputee veterans?
Well, I went to a beautiful convention in Atlantic City, and I was hostess at a table for all amputees. And I got to talking with them and asked them what the average person could do to help them now that they were, out of service. And they told me that they didn't know, but we talked about it. And then I said to them, I'll have to find something special. And I said, how would you like a place on a waterfront somewhere where you could go bathing and people wouldn't be staring at you? And so I came back to Massachusetts, and my brother Eddie Davis owned the Fox and Hounds Club, and the governor, Paul Dever, used to visit there quite often, and my brother was very friendly with him. So I asked my brother Eddie if he would call and make an appointment for me to meet with the governor so that I could talk to him and tell him what I was interested in. And so he did. And I met the governor, and we sat down and we talked, and I told him I'd like to find a piece of land somewhere on the edge of the waterfront where the amputees could go and bathe and sun and not be stared at. And so he said, well, Minna, you go out and find the place and come back to me. And so my husband Harry and I, we went all over looking to see what place would be suitable. So we finally landed at Lake Cochituate in Natick. And I went back to the governor and I said, I think, the ideal place. He says, well, okay. He said that it's yours. And so we got the land, and then my husband Harry and I, we went all over the state and spoke at all the meetings of the Jewish war veterans and the auxiliaries. And we got hundreds of dollars donated to the cause. And I got the carpenters and the electricians and all the people that it took to build the place. And they all donated some of their time, and then the money that we raised, we paid off the rest of it. And so they built a place right on the edge of the water, and the boys and their wives and families could come there and sit and sun and swim and have a good time, and then go into the house that was built for them. You'll see my name engraved on the cornerstone of the building. I'm very glad that God gave me the opportunity to help the amputees, because I am still called their mother, and they all have been very wonderful to me. They all have been in touch with me over the years, and I think that God was good to me, letting me live as long as I'm living, and perhaps it was due to the fact that I thought and tried to help people all my life. I'm very grateful to God for everything.
Minna, I'm just so honored and thrilled that I could be here to hear you tell your story on your approaching 97th birthday. And I hope that for your 98th we'll do a sequel. Thank you, sweetheart.
Why did you do this?
My son was in a group that was sent overseas and were wiped off the face of the earth. I was very grateful to God that he spared my son. And so this is my way of saying thank you to God.
I just want to say that as a filmmaker making this documentary on my grandmother, that it was a lot of fun. I got to learn about a lot of her life's experience, about her becoming the president, the national president. She's always correcting me, typical. And it was a lot of fun to go through this. She did start the park over on Lake Cochituate. Every time you drive down on Route 9, I see it, I remember that. We had ceremonies there because of her, and a lot of good times. We had even celebrated little Christmas parties there with Santa. I met Santa there for the first time.
And many times you went to the different parties that they had for me.
That's right.
You attended many of the testimonials that I had.
And I just wanted to share all this with the viewers of the area. So thank you very much for watching this, and see you next time. That's it.